This is a fact. More than 2 people die per hour due to skin cancer. And this stat is only of US. So can you imagine this number being so much more higher when you look at the worldwide perspective? And there's the 2 main reasons that cause skin cancer. First is because of the harmful sun rays, that's UV rays, and the second one is from UV rays of the tanning beds. So it is very important to take care of your skin from the early age, and one of the ways is to apply sunscreen. And by the end of this video, you'll have a good knowledge, not only good knowledge, actually a professional knowledge of knowing what your skin tone range is in response to the UV exposure. And you'll have a good idea of what sunscreen to look for and what kind of ingredients to avoid and what kind of actually ingredients to accept. And it's lots of good information to actually protect your skin. And for that, stay tuned. Hi, my name is Tajana and I'm a skincare specialist guiding you on skincare with mindful lifestyle practices. And also in the world of professional, when we are performing a treatment on a client, we tend to use a guidelines that is based on Fitzpatrick Scale. And this Fitzpatrick Scale is divided into 6 types based on your skin's ability to tolerate the UV rays. So every skin tone and every skin type has a different reactivity level to the UV exposure, so you need to know what type you are before I further explain anything about sunscreen. And don't worry, it's not boring. I'll make it more interesting for you to understand much more. So let's dive in. I'm going to associate your skin tone with sweets because you are sweet. That too, but actually, so it's easy for you to remember and make it more interesting for you. And the another reason that I wanted to associate the skin tone with the sweets is because so you don't compare your skin tone color with the chart above. You want to compare your skin with in response to how your skin react with the UV exposure. So for example, my skin tone matches more towards the type 3, but I'm type 4 because I don't really get burn, but I get tan so easily when I'm exposed to the sun. So you want to follow the description guideline in order to find out what skin type you have or what sweets you are. Type 1, white chocolate complexion. Your skin always burns easily, peels with the burn, and never tans when exposed to sun. Type 2, vanilla cupcake complexion. Your skin burns easily, usually peels, and slightly tans when exposed to sun. Type 3, baked cheesecake complexion. Your skin burns moderately and tans gradually when exposed to sun. Type 4, milk chocolate complexion. Your skin have minimal burns and always tans well when exposed to sun. Type 5, delicious brownie complexion. Your skin rarely burns and tans easily when exposed to sun. Type 6, dark chocolate complexion. Your skin never burns, deeply pigmented when exposed to sun. If you are type 1 and type 2, your skin is more sensitive towards the UV exposure, so it's more vulnerable of getting a skin cancer, and you need the most protection because of the minimal melanin production available on the surface of your skin. And if you want to know more about the melanin production and skin pigmentation, watch my last video. It explains everything in detail. And if you fall under the category of type 3 and type 4, you need to also wear sunscreen, but not as frequently as the previous 2. Finally, the type 5 and type 6 are the one that is the most safest in terms of UV exposure, but that doesn't mean that you do not need sunscreen. You do require sunscreen as well, but it's not going to be as frequent as the rest of the skin type. Alright, since I'm talking about the frequency of sunscreen application, so let's continue with that. SPF 15, SPF 30, 50, 100. What does this all mean? Well, first, SPF means sun's protection factor, and the number behind it means how long your skin can tolerate the burn under the UV exposure. So for example, SPF 30 in type 1 means protection for 2 hours, but same SPF 30 on a type 5 means 2.5 hours of protection. So reapplication of sunscreen depends on your skin type, but it is recommended to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours regardless of your skin type, because it's better that you're reapplying again and protecting your skin than not reapplying and thinking that it is protected. Especially type 1 to type 4, you have to wear sunscreen because of your skin tolerance towards the UV exposure. Another thing that's important for you to know is there's not much of difference between the SPF numbers. In terms of protection wise, they're almost the same. SPF 15 provides 93% of protection, SPF 30 provides 97% protection, SPF 50 provides 98% protection, and anything SPF 100 and beyond is 99% protection. But keep in mind that when you see SPF 100, it's not the safest. It's actually giving you false hope and a marketing tactics. Regardless of the SPF number, you want to reapply the sunscreen for the extended outdoor activities. So the ideal suggestion for SPF is to look for SPF 30 or 50 for both face and body. So next thing you want to look for on a sunscreen is the term called broad spectrum. So there are two different kinds of sun rays out there, UVA and UVB. UVA are the aging rays that goes deeper down into the skin, and it's much more harmful than UVB, and it's present on the cloudy days and also on the winter season as well, versus UVB are the burning rays that are more present on the sunny days. When you see the term broad spectrum on the packaging, that means it's going through extra lab testing to get approved. That's when it's protecting you from UVA and UVB rays, both of them. Otherwise, usually on sunscreen without anything as a broad spectrum, just with the SPF, that means it's only protecting you from UVB rays and it's not good enough. You may also see PA plus or PA++ on the packaging, which is meaning protection grade for a UVA rays. And you mostly see these kind of gradings on the Asian packaging because it's a Japanese measurement scale, but which has also been widely used now. So which also means that it's protecting from UVA. It's similar to the broad spectrum. So when you're looking for a sunscreen, you can either look for a broad spectrum or PA++ on the packaging. Summer is coming, so you might be stocking up on sunscreen, but you do want to make habit of wearing sunscreen not only on sunny days but also on the winter days, on cloudy days as well, because that's the UVA rays. You also want to protect from that as well because that's more penetrating deeper down into the skin. And now comes the most commonly asked question: is it physical sunscreen or chemical sunscreen? To make it so much easy for you to understand, physical sunscreen means basically just coating it on top of your skin so the UV rays doesn't pass through the skin. And it's also known as mineral sunscreen because they use the active mineral based ingredient. Those are called zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, and due to zinc it gives off a white cast and a chalky color. That's what the most people don't like about these type of sunscreen, and that's the con of it. And the chemical sunscreen, on the other hand, are absorbed by the skin, so the UV rays are also absorbed, but it's scattered around, and that's why the heat is dispersed and it's released from the body. And the reason for the chemical sunscreen to get so much popularity is because it does not give that white cast, and application of the sunscreen is very smooth as well. But again, it is controversial due to the ingredient that they use, like ivabenzone and oxybenzone. So also with the new FDA rule that they will be only approving physical sunscreen going forward. So if you are in the situation need to buy a new sunscreen and stocking up on sunscreen, just buy the physical. It is much more safer for you, and I highly recommend to get just the physical sunscreen, especially for the kids. It's much more safer for them. I am not sponsored for this product, but you exactly know what product I am going to suggest you for the sunscreen because I've mentioned this in so many other videos. It is MDSolar Sciences Mineral Cream Broad Spectrum SPF 30, and it does have a titanium dioxide and zinc oxide and also have a dimethicone on it. So basically you want to look for these three ingredients, so titanium dioxide, zinc oxide and dimethicone, when you're looking for your next sunscreen purchase. And the fact that I do like about this product is because it's very silky and smooth to wear and does not give that much of white cast to it. And also another thing that I do like about this brand is because they are sustainably committed, and they also make sure that the coral reef are safe at the ocean, and they follow the strict guidelines of the environmental working group. That's another reason that I absolutely like to support this brand as well. This step is very important, so pay close attention. When you are applying sunscreen, it's basically clogging your pores. So you have to, by the end of this day, before you go to bed, you need to wash those sunscreen off. And that's the thing about sunscreen, right? You have to have it, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you take it off from you as well. Sun exposure is not only causing skin cancer. It is estimated that 90% of the skin aging that happens is also due to the sun exposure as well. People who use sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher daily showed 24% less skin aging than those who did not use sunscreen daily. Sunscreen is one of the ways to protect you, but you can always extend your protection by wearing full sleeves, hats and caps, and lighter clothes when you're out on the sun. And my last video further explained why we see different skin tone and how to build awareness on racism. You might find this video very helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, do take care of yourself and namaste.